Gessoing over an old painting is often just procrastination in disguise because most of the time you don't need prep, you just need a first move. So, in this video, I'm going to show you how I respond to what's already on a canvas so you can restart without overthinking it. So, if you're anything like me, you probably have a stack of old paintings at home that you find hard to get back to working with. And this video is definitely for you if you can relate to that. This canvas was one of those canvases. It had been sitting in my stack of paintings for a while, and it wasn't necessarily because I didn't like it, but because I had been avoiding it, because I didn't know what to do with it. So, what I like to do when I start on an old painting like this is to try and make one good first move, something that I can respond to, right? So, gessoing over the painting isn't an option, and that's for multiple reasons. First of all, I would just be repeating new starts, right? It would be me just trying to move past the hard part over and over again. Second of all, I would lose all the interesting strokes and marks from the layers that I had already created. After all, we want our paintings to be interesting and engaging, right? Anyhow, in this painting, I decided to start with that large area of light green, just because there was no light area in that painting when I started. And then I was able to move in with the ochre because it's complementary to the blue that was already there. And I also felt like it would kind of work well with that green. But before I add anything, though, I always like to take time to sit and really look at what's happening on the canvas. So I'm looking for two things before I start. I'm looking for the marks and textures on the painting that I can react to, and the areas that feel off, the ones that kind of feel boring, because that is what gives me my starting point. And because the canvas is dry, if my first strokes aren't right for me, I can always remove the paint and just try again. But the most important thing I want you to notice is what I'm not doing. I'm not trying to make something beautiful. I'm just creating direction. So it's all about having a conversation with your canvas. So once you put something down on your canvas, you want to react to it. So this is the part that most of us skip because we all want to plan, right? But the plan often shows up after we create that first move. So what I'm doing is asking myself, what did that mark that I just created do? Did it create space, contrast, or maybe it even just created a new problem? Because that happens all the time too. So sometimes things work and sometimes they don't. So if I have an area that is working, I'll try to protect it. But that doesn't mean that I'll just keep poking it and try to fix it so that it fits in. No, I'll just keep that area as is and I'll move quietly around it and kind of build support. And if it's something that I think is too busy or I don't like, as you see here, I just remove it. So I painted over a lot of those white lines that I created in this painting because I didn't think they were working. But that doesn't mean I can't come back in and create more lines later. Now, I don't create a lot of the kinds of texture that turns into thick ridges, but one thing a lot of my students do ask me that like texture is what they're supposed to do if their old painting has these ridges and it's creating problems. So if that's something you struggle with, just pull out some sandpaper and sand it down just to knock back the highest bits so that you're not battling with them. So there is one exception to the no gessoing over a painting thing. So if you're an intermediate artist, you might have some paintings that you varnished because they were finished. And as you grow as an artist, you might not like them anymore. I know that happened to me a lot anyhow. But before you just go ahead and gesso over them, make sure that you sand them back first because painting over varnish does not work very well. But once you sand it down and give it a few layers of gesso, you're good to go. All right, so I just want to leave you with a few things that might help you get going with some of your older paintings. So, if you have a painting that has a lot of big shapes, try to add some smaller shapes. And if you have one that has a lot of small shapes, try to add some large shapes. And the same goes for your lights and darks. If you have a dark painting, add some lights and vice versa. You can also choose to leave an area alone because it already has the energy it needs. Or you could repeat a color in a second place if it helps the painting feel more connected. And don't forget to step back every now and then to see what your painting actually needs. So that way you're not that likely to overwork it. So let's do a quick recap. You don't need to gesso unless you're starting with a painting that has been varnished. And you want to start by looking for what has energy. And you want to make one easy first move and then react to your own marks until the painting starts giving you feedback. So you want to have a conversation with your painting. All right, so you might be thinking, okay, but how do I know what's working and what to change? And that is exactly why I made my clarity checklist. It helps you step back and check your painting. So it'll help you look for the lights and the darks, the color feeling. It'll help you look to see where your eye lands first and how the eye moves through the whole painting. And if there's enough variety in your marks and in your edges, or whether the whole thing feels pulled together or not. And it will help you so that you don't overwork your paintings. If you want it, the link to the list is in the description and the pinned comment. And I'm curious, so let me know in the comments if you're more likely to get stuck at the start of a painting, in the middle, or right at the end when it's time to stop. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video and that I see you here next week. Bye!